Alright, enough of that. Hello? Hello, hello. How have you been? I have missed you. Welcome back. More lawyering! Splatfest is over, and I took the Switch out of the dock. Anyways, alrighty. I'll just get the... Where'd I put those? Yeah, here we go. Let's do it. I am scared. What is going to happen? Alright, 20 seconds to 14 p.m. Just record fan lobby number 3. Alright. Man. Trial's already been 4 hours already. Dude, I can't believe that Adrian... No way! Not cool and collected Adrian Andrews! She is your manager. It would have been very easy for her to pull this off. The only person who had easy access to the knife you used at dinner was, well, her. So after the ceremony during the break... Huh? I was sleeping like a log the entire time. See, she could have also easily planted that blood-covered button in your hakama. Because she was the one that came to wake me up? Then, dude, you're saying it really was her? Yes, she is the real killer. She was the one who murdered Juan Carita. But why? I thought she was buds with Juan. She has her own agenda. Her own agenda? What are you talking about? I'm sure you'll see by the time this trial's over. It'll be alright. I'll get you acquitted by the end of today. Get me a verdict that's refreshing like a spring breeze, okay, Mr. Lawyer Dude? Phoenix. You think her motive is related to Celeste Impax's missing suicide note, right? Yes. Miss Andrews depended on Miss Impax as her strength and reason to live. But then Miss Impax suddenly killed herself. Make sure this is... Sure it's working right. Yep. Alright, just let me, Okay. Miss Impax suddenly killed herself. It sounds like she left a suicide note, and the person thought to have hidden it is Juan Carita, the victim of this murder. And that's why I think that Miss Andrews got close to Mr. Carita. All to get the suicide note back. That sounds plausible. But one thing bothers me. What? Who was it that first told us about the relationship? Better stated, Miss Andrews' dependency issues with regards to Miss Impax. It was Edgeworth. It looks like he's still the one in command of this ship. Don't let your guard down yet. Sky! Sky, where did you go? Where have you been? Oh, man. Tell me what's been on. Alright. Court will now reconvene. Now then, Mr. Edgeworth, if you please. The prosecution calls the witness subpoenaed by this court. Miss Adrian Andrews, the person who discovered the crime in Mr. Juan Carita's room. What is your occupation? I am the manager of the defendant in this case, Mr. Matt on guard. I see. Now then. Before we begin, Your Honor, I have one request. Yes, sure. What is it? I'm sure everyone in this room is wondering the same thing, and would love to find out more about my relationship with the victim. After all, it was the topic of a certain weekly magazine recently. No, I have no idea what you mean. I've never even heard of Gossipland. If the judge was ever a prosecution witness, he'd do all my work for me. Anyway, I was wondering if you could please tell us about your relation to the victim. Yes, I was seeing Mr. Carita. I was also aware of the rivalry that existed between Matt and Juan. But this was a private matter between Juan and myself. So it was a fry and bait matter. Or was that bait and fry? Reminds me of fishing. But I didn't kill him. No one is accusing you of that. I think there's someone who would beg to differ. I think we all understand your relationship with the victim now, Miss Andrews. Very well then, witness, please testify to the court about what happened when you discovered the murder that had taken place. Well, here we go. This one's called When I Found the Body. It was time for the show to start, so I went to get Matt from his room. After that, I went to Juan's room, and there was his dead body. I was in shock. What I saw was, naturally, the exact same scene as in the crime scene photo. I felt as though I was about to faint, so I poured myself a glass of juice. You poured yourself a glass of juice? Yes, sadly I didn't remember not to touch things at the scene of a crime, and I disturbed the crime scene by moving this one thing. And that is when the fingerprints on the wine glass were made, Your Honor. I see. Well, Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness. Phoenix. She is one cool and collected customer, and she has the brains to match. Yes, I know. In order to catch a person like her, you have to avoid head-on confrontations. You should disrupt her pacing. Disrupt her pacing? She's the type of woman who is easily thrown off by things inconsistent with her thinking, so you have to attack when she least expects it. The instant you let up on your offense is the instant this trial is over. Understand? When I found the body. It doesn't sound like there's any glaring contradictions in her testimony just now. I warned you earlier that she would not crack so easily. The only way to make her is to keep on the offensive and not let up. The only way you're going to catch her is with some very strong, decisive evidence. I have to find something, I just have to. For Maya's sake. And what was Mr. On Guard doing at the time? He was taking a nap. He was worn out from his mini performances at Neko Samurai during the ceremony. Mr. On Guard did say he was taking a nap. Then I guess you could say it could not have been taken out of his room, yes? Excuse me? What are you? Right. I thought years of school would have taught you how to construct a sentence. If you can't make a sensible sentence with a subject, then I'll make one for you. Watch. Did you, Miss Andrews, remove Mr. On Guard's knife from his room? No. Subject, verb, object. Right. Did you skip basic grammar? The witness may continue. And why did you do that? As a friendly gesture, Juan was to make an appearance with the other heroes. So the show is supposed to be a show of friendship, huh? Let's press further. Is that the only reason? I beg your pardon? What are you implying? You had a certain goal in mind when you started to get close to him, correct? So perhaps you had a more personal matter to discuss with the victim? Sorry, but I didn't have any such intentions in mind at that time. I can't care to talk without a strong piece of evidence, I guess. Hey, what's up? Have you been? How's it going? Alright, can't care to talk without a strong piece of evidence, I guess. May we continue now? Witness, what did you see when you got to his room? There was his dead body. You were in shock? What? Was I not supposed to be? Miss Andrews is a very calculating person. And despite how close they were, I doubt she had romantic feelings for Mr. Kurita. Anyone randomly stumbling upon a dead body would be in shock. And you can't seriously expect that a young beauty like her would not be shocked. Somehow, I don't think beauty has anything to do with being shocked or not. I see. What I saw was naturally the exact same scene as in the... This is the photo you're referring to, correct? Yes, the one with the knife lodged in his chest. And the guitar case was like this too. Yes, it was open and empty, of course. And then, what did you do next, witness? I felt as though I was about to faint, so I poured myself a glass of juice. Oh, this is a solid testimony. Juice? Yes, there was a bottle of tomato juice on the table, so I helped myself. But you didn't drink any of it, did you? Huh? There were no lip marks left on this wine glass to suggest that anyone drank from it. I wasn't feeling terribly great, so I set the glass down without drinking it. Miss Andrews, I would like to confirm with you one more time. When you discovered the dead body of Juan Kurita, you were in great shock. And that's when you poured yourself the glass of juice, correct? And what of it? My mind really was a complete blank at the time. Your mind was a complete blank? I didn't think that was possible for you. Aren't you rude today? I was so dazed that I made one careless mistake. That one thing. What one thing? Never mind. It's no big deal. What was she starting to say just now? Oh boy. Press further. Miss Andrews? I'm convinced that, as you said, you made a mistake at the scene of the crime. What I really want to know is what this mistake was. Actually, so would I. I'm sorry. It's kind of embarrassing. When I set the glass down on the dresser, I accidentally knocked the flower vase over. Oh boy. Flower vase? Are you talking about the one on the floor in the crime photo? This mess of glass shards? It was originally on top of the dresser, but when I bumped into it with my elbow, it fell onto the guitar case. Why did you withhold such an important piece of information? I'm sorry. I thought that since the crime scene was already in disarray, that people would simply assume the vase was just another part of the mess. It looks like yet another fact has come to light here. Please add this and anything else you have to reveal to your testimony. I'm sorry, but I have nothing more to add. I didn't touch anything else. It fell onto the guitar case? Alright, I'm not so confident. I am not so confident about this. Oh, yep. You testified that you knocked the flower vase over. Is this correct? Yes. And are you sure it fell onto the guitar case? Is there some problem with what I said? It's not some problem. It's a major problem. It's true that the top of the guitar case was wet with water. However, that's exactly what is so strange. Miss Andrews, you testified that the vase fell onto the guitar case. However, if that was true, the case should have gotten wet on the inside, not the outside. That's very true. Furthermore, there is one other strange thing about this guitar case. And what is that? Let's take another look at the crime scene photo. The remains of the vase are scattered on the floor. And what is wrong with that? If the guitar case was open when the vase fell, the glass shards should be inside, not outside the case. Ugh. What is your point, right? That the case was closed at the time the vase was knocked over? Is that all? No, think back to what Miss Andrews testified to. She said that other than the vase, she didn't touch anything else. Yes, that's right. She did implicitly say that she didn't touch the guitar case. But this whole matter with the guitar case is a dead end. The bright red guitar was found in the studio. It has no bearing on this case at all. That may very well be. However, the empty guitar case does seem to have no relation to this case, doesn't it? It seems that there is no deeper meaning to the guitar case. Well, Mr. Wright, do you think we need to hear more details about the guitar case? You know what? I think we should. The empty guitar case. I believe this is a crucial piece of the puzzle. Heh, I can't believe anyone will reach for straws like this. But it is you. I can't believe I'm doing this either. Alright, I'll follow along. For now. Miss Andrews, please testify to the court about the guitar case. Yes, Your Honor. The guitar case. I don't remember too clearly because I was a bit dazed. I suppose I must have opened the guitar case after I knocked the vase over. It's not a big deal though, right? The case was empty after all. As for why I opened the case, even I don't know. It looks like this really wasn't a very important point. This wastefulness is such a familiar feeling by now that it's almost comforting. Anyway, I'll just go ahead and start the cross-examination. Using any way to change the topic. A convenient escape for a weak man. You are not a clown. You are the entire circus. The judge is not a very good judge? Yeah, I guess not. Alright, I don't really do this. We're gonna have 2 save files. Because I don't know. You must have opened the guitar case. You must have opened the guitar case? But it bears Kurita's fingerprints. There is no way you were the one who opened the guitar case. Why would you say that? It's elementary, my dear. Because the only fingerprints on this guitar case are those of the victim! Ah! What is it, Miss Andrews? You shouldn't assume that I must have left prints just because I touched the case. What do you mean? What if I were to tell you that I was wearing gloves at the time? Gloves? But why would you be wearing gloves at the time? It was the night of the awards ceremony. So of course I dressed up for the occasion. Yes, now I remember. I'm also sure I was wearing a pair of thin gloves. I see. Well, Mr. Wright, it seems the witness was wearing gloves at the scene of the crime. That's strange. You were wearing gloves? Isn't that a little strange? Why is that strange? Do you have something that would prove I was not wearing gloves at the time? Did I do this wrong? I'd say the wine glass. I have your proof right here. This wine glass. The wine glass? You left your fingerprints very clearly on this wine glass. Even if you took your gloves off when you poured yourself this glass of juice, wouldn't you think it was just a little strange that you put your gloves back on just to open the guitar case? What the? Okay, you know what? No comment. Just no comment. I don't know anymore. Oh, order! Looks like you hit the nail on the head this time. Huh? What do you mean? I believe that guitar case plays a very important role in here. But it's just an empty case. I wonder if it really was empty, though. But the guitar, the bright red guitar was at the studio. Phoenix, drop all of your presumptions. What was in the guitar case was not the bright red guitar. You don't mean it was a bright white guitar? Wait, that's not right either. I admit it would be unnatural for someone to do that. So the witness was not wearing gloves, despite the fact that on the case... Your Honor, this is obviously the defense's usual misdirection tactic at work. Steer the court towards an unrelated topic and lull us all into as misguided. No, Your Honor, please recall that Miss Andrews had testified that the vase fell onto the guitar case, which means that the case was closed when the crime took place. However, it is wide open in this foot of the crime scene. I am sure this guitar has some relation to the murder. If you are so sure, right, then I'm sure you can somehow substantiate your outrageous claim, correct? Please, enlighten us as to why that guitar case has anything at all to do with this murder. Can you do that, Mr. Wright? Well... let's suppose for a second that the bright red guitar was not the only thing that could have been in the case. The bright red guitar not being the only thing? You don't mean to suggest that a bright black guitar? So, you intend to push your theory that the case was not empty? Is that it, right? I wouldn't say something that I didn't intend to prove. Deflate that head of yours. You haven't proved anything yet. Now then, let's have it. What was inside this case at the time of the murder? I don't know. I really don't know. What is in there? Yeah, wouldn't. Yeah, it would. But this is a photograph. Yes, but what's important is what is in that picture, Your Honor. In this picture? It doesn't take a genius to see what I mean. What I am proposing is, inside the guitar case was the Nickel Samurai, the hero's very own costume. What? Mr. Wright, explain yourself. Right, are you saying that the witness opened the guitar case to take out a costume? What insane point would there be to do something like that? That insane point would be to wear the costume, of course. Miss Andrews put it on to hide her identity so she could make her escape. After all, you couldn't let anyone see you leave, could you, Miss Andrews? I refuse to accept your theory. Do you have anything to support such a preposterous idea? Just outside the door was an investigative photographer who was starving for a big scoop. And in the end, she managed to get this shot, correct? You mean this photo? Order! Order! It looks like we've wandered into quite another mess again, oh haven't we? Nice job, Phoenix. Well, you know my strategy. Speak first, think later. So the real murderer was hiding inside a costume. Wait 1 second, Your Honor. The Nickel Samurai's costume would have been Mr. Man on Guard's. Why would something of the defendant be in the victim's room? And inside the guitar case of all places. True, that is a little baffling. Mr. Wright, the court would like to hear your thoughts. What was the Nickel Samurai? What was this Nickel Samurai doing inside the guitar case? It was a spare costume. Mr. Onguard did not take his costume off during the break period. In that case, the costume we are talking about was a spare one. What? Speak first, think later? Yeah, I guess it kind of, I don't know, that's just Phoenix. Then, are you saying that on the night of the murder, there were 2 Nickel Samurai costumes at the Gatewater Hotel? Yes, that is what I am saying. Then how do you explain the costume that was inside the guitar case? It would mean that the victim himself had brought the spare to the ceremony on purpose. But why? The victim, Mr. Kurita, was the Jamin ninja. Why would he secretly bring the Nickel Samurai spare costume with him? What could be the reason behind such a peculiar act? And therein lies the sticking point. Oh, what are you mumbling to yourself about now? Have you just been rambling on this time without any sense of inner monologue? Huh? No, I just... Mr. Wright, please explain yourself. Why do you think the victim had the Nickel Samurai spare costume? Time to save. Again. Oh, jeez, this is dumb. Phoenix, are you sure you can explain this one? Think carefully before you answer. And then answer with gusto. I believe in you. Alright, this is what I think. The reason the victim brought the Nickel Samurai spare costume to the hotel was... Alright, I'm not so confident about this one, but we're gonna do it. Phoenix! What are you doing? Are you crazy? I presented the evidence with gusto, just like you said. No, you didn't. Ah, yes, I was right. What is this? On the night of the murder, after the stage show. Hold on. Can y'all give me a minute? Just give me a minute. Okay. On the night of the murder, after the stage show, the Nickel Samurai was going to hold a special press conference. A press conference? Yes, the Nickel Samurai was supposed to confess something at this conference. I heard about this as well. For once, you're not making something up, right? But what struck me as strange was that Mr. On Guard himself said he had no idea he was supposed to be holding a press conference that night. But how can that be? The way I see it, that can mean only one thing. The conference was set up by none other than the victim, Mr. Juan Carita himself! The victim? Yes! The spare Nickel Samurai costume was prepared for that very conference. Mr. Carita was going to hold the press conference as the Nickel Samurai! He was going to dress up as the Nickel Samurai and hold a conference? But why would the victim do such a thing? That's something I don't quite know yet. However, what I am concerned with right now is what he intended to reveal at that conference. The Nickel Samurai was going to confess something. By confess, I'd wager he was going to reveal something about himself. Which means that Juan Carita, posing as the Nickel Samurai, was going to speak about Matt on Guard. Yes, I guess that is what it would mean. But if that's the case, that's not a confession. That's public disclosure. Huh. Miss Andrews, I can see why you are pros at what you do. Pardon me? Yes, just as you say, the press conference was set up by Juan. Miss Andrews, please offer us an explanation for this. I was the one he asked to help set it up. And the person who prepared the second costume for him, that was also me. You? Juan, I bet everything on the Gem and Ninja this year. And if he lost the Grand Prix, he was going to make sure Matt was going down with him. That's what he thought anyway. He was going to ruin him, huh? It looked like somehow Juan had in his hands a secret so powerful that it would destroy Matt's acting career had it been revealed. What? And do you know what the secret of Mr. On Guard's is, Miss Andrews? That's something only Juan knew. I don't know what it is. Ah, I see. I've probably been coming off quite suspicious to everyone. Well, that's to be expected. I've been trying to protect Matt, after all. Protect Mr. On Guard? And yet again, another strange bit of truth comes to light, it seems. Miss Andrews, if you could, please tell us the truth about your behavior. Yes, Your Honor. I understand. Protecting Matt. From the moment I saw the crime scene, I had a feeling that Matt was the murderer. Matt had to kill Juan no matter what. And he didn't have an alibi for what he was doing at the time of the murder. My thoughts were confirmed by the evidence, of course. The button, and the knife. But I'm Matt's manager, so I felt that I had to protect him. This does account for everything. Well, I am the logical type. Finally seeing her true self. She is more nervous than a scared rabbit. If the defense can find no fault with this testimony, I am ready to make a ruling. Please keep that in mind as you cross-examine, Mr. Wright. Looks like somehow everything has swung to the opposite end of the scale again. That just means I have to put my weight into this and turn the logic upside down. Alright, here we go. Protecting Matt. Save. As I expected, Miss Andrews' testimony seems pretty solid. Really? Because it sounded a little because to me it sounded a little wishy-washy. Wishy-washy? Well, I guess we'll see if I press a little more. You should know this by now, but you'll need strong, decisive evidence to make her talk. Got it, Chief. I'm gonna pin you down this time, Miss Andrews. Would you say that was your intuition speaking to you? Don't confuse my methods of reasoning with your own. No. If you want to prove that someone did something, you need 3 things. 3 things? A motive, an opportunity to commit the crime, and finally, decisive evidence. And if you think these 3 things true, the answer becomes quite clear. You should have already known that, Phoenix. They didn't teach that to us in school. Well, at least, not from what I remember. May I continue now? So, would you say this need came from the press conference? Yes. Do you know why Juan chose that event and that hotel for the conference? Because that was when he could cause the most damage to the public's beloved Matt on Guard. And you knew of this plan, didn't you, Miss Andrews? Yes, because I was the one who set up the conference and prepared the costume. But I'm sure Mr. On Guard himself didn't know anything about the press conference. Oh, really? Can you show me any proof that he didn't know about the press conference? No. Anyway, the important thing here is that this information was not in your testimony. Yes, I agree, Miss Andrews. Please correct your testimony if you please. Grasping at straws now, are we, Mr. Wright? I know what his motive was, but I don't have any way to prove him right. Let's talk about this for a second. Wrong! Has Mr. Enguarde done something to hurt or betray you personally? Why do you ask? You were the one who helped Mr. Kurita with his press conference. And that event was supposed to bring down Mr. Enguarde, yet you still helped out. The person on trial right now is Mr. Enguarde, right? What the witness was thinking, helping the victim with his plan, is none of our concern. In any case, this means that the defendant had a motive to kill. Why do I keep doing this to myself? But didn't you already testify earlier that Mr. Enguarde was taking a nap in his room? Are you telling me now that that too was a lie so you could cover for Mr. Enguarde? I'm not telling you anything of the sort. When I went to get him for the show, he honestly was sleeping. However, as to whether he was sleeping the entire time, that I cannot say. I was too busy setting up the stage at the time. I keep trying, but I can find no flaws with what Miss Andrews has said. I can't say the same for some people here in this courtroom, however. The judge is glaring straight at Mia. He's glaring at you, smart guy! Come on, Phoenix. Oh, man. You can hardly call the knife decisive evidence. The fingerprints on this knife could very well be a clever camouflage. Then, what about the button? The button? It's clear from the crime scene that the victim and his murderer fought. And during the fight, the killer ripped the button from the Jamma Ninja's costume. You're talking about this button, correct? That button was found in the pleats of Matsukama. Isn't that correct? I would think that makes it very decisive evidence. No. Looks like you were outfoxed again, Mr. Wright. Anyway, the knife doesn't prove a thing. Please fix your testimony. I can't stand the sight of a man who can't gracefully accept his defeat. Mia! Thank goodness Mia can still look at me. With an icy stare, yes. Miss Andrews, for Mr. Wright's sake, please add this information to your testimony. That button was torn off Juan during his fight with Matt. But what you really did was stab the guy in the back, didn't you? And at the worst possible time. Who's to say she really stabbed the guy in the back, as you put it? This witness could have disclosed things about Mr. Enguarde at any time. Why, then, would she wait until there was a large audience before doing so? It's the same reason why Mr. Kurita planned such an elaborate conference. Miss Andrews wanted to cause Mr. Enguarde as much damage as she possibly could. This witness bears ill will towards the defendant. This isn't the Phoenix Wright. This isn't the Phoenix Wright wax philosophical. I don't know how to speak anymore. This isn't the Phoenix Wright wax philosophical power hour. And please stop slandering the witness. As I expected, Mrs. Andrews' testimony seems pretty solid. I have the feeling... I have the feeling we should present this. No! Yeah, I don't know anymore. Oh my god. This is the victim's autopsy report. It clearly states that the cause of death was strangulation by a scarf. Strangulation. The knife stab to the victim was done after the victim had already died. And what does that mean? Let's examine the evidence. This button has the victim's blood on it, which would mean that it was ripped off of the costume when? After the knife was stabbed into the victim. Exactly, which means it is possible this button was torn off during the victim's final struggle, because the victim was strangled to death in that fight. That's right, Miss Andrews. There is no way this button was ripped off during the struggle. This button was consciously pulled off of the victim's already dead body. Order! Order! What is the oh my god. What is the meaning of this right? Bro, the judge was about to say that. So what if the button was torn off the body after the victim had already died? What does that change? Let me ask you one simple question, Mr. Edgeworth. Why was the button torn off? What purpose did that serve? What purpose? We now know this button was not torn off during the fight, so the murderer took the time and effort to purposefully rip this from the victim's body. That would mean that the murderer had something in mind, wouldn't it? Mr. Wright, does this mean you know what the murderer wanted to do with this button? What was it? Pin the grime on guard? There is only one logical reason for doing something like that. It was to pin the grime on Mr. On Guard. There is no way anyone would put a bloody button in their own pants. That's right, Mr. On Guard was set up. By the real killer, of course. And the real murder is... Well, Mr. Wright, who in the world is the real killer then? Finally, I can't believe I managed to bring this trial all the way up to this point. Phoenix, you can't let your guard down yet, not till the very end. I am saving. Or not yet. I am saving. The real killer. The person who planned to frame Mr. On Guard is... Miss Adrian Andrews. I choose you! Used under shock. You are Mr. Karina's killer! What? And her glasses broke again. Order! Mr. Wright! This is a very grave matter. Do you have any evidence that supports your charge? Any evidence? All of the evidence points to Miss Andrews. What? How preposterous. You can't stick any of that on me. I can't, can I? Would you care to test me? Then what about this knife? The knife was used to stab the victim after he had already been strangled to death. It was used to throw suspicion onto Mr. On Guard, naturally. A knife covered in the defendant's fingerprints can only be taken from his room. And the only one who had dinner with him and knew which knife to take was you! Then, what about the button that was found in Matsukama? This button was removed from the victim's body after he had already died. The only people who could have done so were the person who found his body or the killer. However, Mr. On Guard was the real killer. There is no way he would have put such incriminating evidence in his own Akama. The only person who could have put his button into Mr. Unguard's coma is the person who went to wake him up from his nap, which is you, yet again, Miss Andrews. I see. What about the empty guitar case? There's also another piece of evidence that incriminates Miss Andrews. That costume was used to hide the real killer's identity as they fled the crime scene. Now, who could have known that there was such a costume inside the guitar case? It could only have been the person who prepared the costume for the victim. And that person is you, Miss Adrian Andrews! No, I was really tearing my throat. But Miss Andrews' fingerprints were nowhere to be found on the guitar case. And it was you who proved that she was not wearing gloves at the time. That's right. That's because she did not intend on leaving any prints. If anyone had found out that she had touched the case, they would have asked her why. So to avoid leaving any prints, she used a towel or someone else to open it. But the glass of tomato juice is a different story. Miss Andrews purposefully left her fingerprints on the glass to show that, yes indeed, she was the classic dazed discoverer of a dead body. Oh, and the glass is broken again. And to top it all off, there is this photo. A photo of the killer as they exited the scene of the crime. No reasonable person on Earth can believe this nickel samurai is Mr. Unguard. He would be much too short for his own costume if it was him. Speaking of how tall people are, Miss Andrews, you're also kind of short in stature, are you not? Please, stop. Well, how about it, Miss Andrews? Is she gonna break down? I've got her this time. Miss Andrews? I refuse to testify. What was that? There's a law. Something can't be forced to testify about something if it can incriminate me. Well, yes. You are absolutely correct, Miss Andrews. The law does provide us with a way to avoid self-incrimination. By allowing a witness to not testify if the testimony can cause damage to themselves. What? Pleading the fifth is not something most people would think to do on the spot. Actually, thinking back to yesterday in Mr. Unguard's room. Adrian Andrews. Yes? Think hard about what we just discussed. Understood. Alright. That's it. That's when Francesca planted this idea into her head. She must have told Miss Andrews to not testify if things looked bad. You did a good job proving everything up to this point, Phoenix. But there's still one thing you haven't done. Something I haven't done? What's wrong, right? Are you finished already? Run out of evidence? What is so humorous, Mr. Edgeworth? I'm sure you realize this as well, Your Honor. But everything the good lawyer here has proven up to this point is meaningless. What? Everything you have proven is circumstantial. Circumstantial? Yes, circumstantial. You have yet to provide a single piece of definitive proof. Proof that Miss Andrews did in fact harbor a wish to murder Mr. Carita. Miss Andrews, did you want to kill Mr. Carita? I believe this may lead to me incriminating myself, so I will abstain from answering. But Miss Andrews, if you do that, it would be the same as admitting your guilt, don't you think? Maybe so, or maybe not. There's nothing to prove it either way. Besides, you don't even know what crime I would be guilty of due to my silence. No! She's taking that defiant attitude again! Mia, what should we do? Somehow, we've landed in the worst possible situation. I think we have reached a certain conclusion at this point in time. Miss Adrian Andrews has refused to testify, and the defense's theory that she is the actual murderer has not been fully substantiated with solid definitive proof. But that's not true! In this situation, there is only one thing this court can do, and that is to declare a recess. Recess? I request that both the prosecution and the defense look further into this matter. And at tomorrow's trial... Tomorrow? We don't have it tomorrow! We don't get a not guilty verdict today, then... Please wait, Your Honor! That's not necessary! The trial... Please continue the trial! What are you sweating for? Your client is getting one more day to live, isn't he? That's not it! This isn't about that! Edgeworth! I know you know who the real killer is! Please, let the trial continue! If I don't get the verdict, then Maya... But it's impossible to continue as long as the witness refuses to testify. Now then, this court is... Edgeworth! It is not impossible for this trial to continue. Mr. Edgeworth! What are you? It's true Miss Andrews holds the right against self-incrimination. However, if the topic of conversation were something unrelated to whatever she may be guilty of, then she has no right to withhold testimony. Yes, that is very true, but... Actually, there is one little thing I'm curious about. Miss Andrews, when you found the victim's dead body, you poured yourself a glass of juice. Yes. And I can't help but think how unnatural that is. Usually when one finds a body, they are shaken up, not stirring a glass of juice. So my actions were unusual, but I've already... Before you speak, I want to state that if you have a reason behind your actions, I would like you to testify to that effect. Testify? Your Honor, I would like to request that the witness testify again as to what happened when she first discovered the victim's body. Whatever we find out in this testimony should in no way implicate the witness. I don't know what it is about Edgeworth today, but I can't get a good read off of him. Is he friend or foe? I just don't know. The court acknowledges the prosecution's request. Miss Andrews, if you please. Alright. When I found the body, that glass of juice, I didn't really pour it for myself. I was surprised when I walked into the room and saw it in that messy state. And Juan, he was sitting slumped over and tired looking in the corner. When I saw him sitting like that, the thought that he was dead didn't cross my mind. To be honest, I thought he had just fainted or something, so I went to pour him some juice. When I realized that he was dead, that's when I knocked the flower vase over. So you poured that glass of juice for the victim. Why didn't you say so in your earlier testimony? I didn't think I needed to include something so trivial. Phoenix, please be careful here. If you can't find anything wrong with this testimony, then there's nothing left. I know. Edgeworth, what the hell is going on in that brain of yours? Now then, Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination. This is what it all comes down to. Huh? This is the absolute end for both sides. And Adrian is letting her guard down. Phoenix, now is our best chance yet to kill the prosecution's case. Isn't that a bit harsh? Miss Andrews, will you tell us the truth this time? Wrong. Wrong. Ah! Yes! So you honestly didn't think he was dead when you found him? No, not at all. Even though this is what you saw when you discovered the body? Ah! Oh, what is the meaning of this? Isn't it obvious, Your Honor? There is a knife sticking straight out of Mr. Kurita's chest. Anyone who saw the scene would have immediately thought that here was a dead man. That's, well, you see, I doubt a single person in the world would mistake this for someone who fainted. And then so nonchalantly go pour something to drink. Your point is... Miss Andrews, your testimony just now, it was all one giant lie. Ugh. And her glasses broke again. And your lie has proven one thing very clearly. That you are the real killer. No! Ooh-cha! It looks like the defense has somehow brought the ugly truth to light. The defendant, Mr. Matt on guard, is not guilty after all. But that's impossible. You're wrong. Miss Andrews, try to have some composure. It wasn't me. It wasn't me, I tell you. It was Matt. I swear it. He's the one. Let me hydrate. Hold on. It was Matt. I swear it. He's the one who killed Juan. But you were the one who refused to testify. And your reason for not doing so was that you might end up incriminating yourself. That's because... Miss Andrews, I will give you one last chance. What exactly are you hiding that may incriminate you? I refuse to testify. Oh god, she's never gonna testify, is she? Oh god. Then there is no need for this court to continue any further. Mr. Matt on guard's innocence has been clearly demonstrated. Is it over? I don't think so. Have we found the truth at last? What's wrong, Phoenix? Usually the real killer confesses his or her guilt. And now that I think about it, this is the first time someone hasn't. Now then, I would like to hand down my verdict for Mr. Mad on Guard. I was expecting that. Your Honor. The prosecution feels that it would be premature to pass down a verdict at this time. What? The reason is quite simple. This witness has yet to speak the absolute real truth. The absolute real truth? What are you? Witness, don't you understand yet? Huh? I don't know who planted this silly idea in your head, but as long as you protect yourself through your silence, Man on Guard will go free, and in his place, you will become the guilty party. That's a lie. I don't believe you. What? I was told if I spoke, then it would be all over, and Mel would never be declared guilty. Oh, what in the world is she talking about? Has she lost it? I can't speak about it. I'm too scared. It's Franziska von Karma. Huh? Don't you remember, Phoenix? Miss Andrew lives by gripping tightly onto the words of another. On, need to export. Back to the game. Miss Andrews lives by gripping tightly onto the words of another. Because she doesn't have the strength to believe in herself. Then, right now, Miss Andrews is a puppet. Yesterday, she was tossed a lifesaver by Miss Von Karma. Don't say a word, no matter what happens. If you do, Mad on Guard will be acquitted. Miss Andrews undyingly believes in those words right now and is clinging on to them. Then what should we do? This is the first time I've ever come across anything like this. Okay, we're gonna save. But Miss Andrews has to be the killer, right? All we have to do now is get her not guilty. That is my only priority. It wasn't me. I'm begging you, please believe me. I didn't kill Juan. Help. Please. Someone. Help me. Mr. Wright? Yes, Your Honor? The court can continue on like this, therefore I would like to hear what you intend to do. What I intend to do? What am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to say? I don't know. I don't know myself. Really, I don't know. Right. I suggest you think very carefully about this. Think about what this witness did and what she did not do. And think about who is the real mastermind behind this crime. Who's the real mastermind? Isn't that obvious? There's no one else it could be except the woman crying over there. Right? Come now. What will you do? What kind of man are you, Mr. Phoenix Wright? You know what? If we don't get the truth today, then... Look, I don't know why, but I think this is gonna lead to an early bad ending. This will not feel right. So... Look, I cannot request a guilty verdict. I cannot request a not guilty verdict, sorry. We're gonna have to force her to testify. We must hear everything. All the way down to the last bullet. I have to win a complete acquittal today. There's no way around that. But I can't bring myself to do it like this. Now when she's making a face like that. Miss Andrews, I would like to know what you are really hiding. Mr. Wright, are you sure you know what you're doing? Sure, Mr. Ongar would get an acquittal, but in his place, you would be found guilty. Is this how you really want to end this trial? Be quiet. How dare you? You're trying to trick me. That's enough! I commend you for trying, Mr. Edgeworth. However, it's clear that the defense's theory is the truth. You're wrong. What a shame. I had hoped things wouldn't come to this, however. What is it, Mr. Edgeworth? Miss Andrews, since you absolutely refuse to testify, it falls on my shoulders to disclose this to the court. Oh boy. Stop. Mr. Edgeworth! This witness, how should I put this? She has an illness. She does? What? And because of this illness, she has tried to commit suicide in the past. Stop. Please stop. No matter how much you want to hide it, it's no use. I have the evidence right here. Ah! That's the second part of the suicide report. The attempted suicide report. What will you do now, witness? You know what I am about to do, don't you? I will now reveal to the court the true nature of the pitiful woman known as Adrian Andrews. The secret of her dependent nature. Having other people know about it scares her more than anything else in the world. Please stop. I beg you. If people find out. Oh. God, Edgeworth. If you're going to say you would choose death, that is of no concern to me. Edgeworth, how can you be so cold? However, before you die, I will pull the truth from your still breathing lips, no matter what I have to do. Okay, now I'm scared. So, will you tell the court yourself, or shall I? Either is fine with me. I'll talk, but please, help me. Nothing matters anymore. My crime. When I first saw him, I really thought he had fainted. Honest. When I realized he was dead, that was when I formulated my plan. Once I made sure there was no one in the hallway, I made a dash back to Matt's room. And then, I stabbed Juan's dead body with a knife and ripped off the button. Just when I had finished and was returning to Matt's room, I had a bit of an inconvenience. And that's why I ended up using the Nickel Samurai costume. Stab the body? With the knife? But why would you do that? Isn't it obvious? To pin the blame on a certain person. A certain cowardly man. Whoa. What do you mean by all this? It might take this court a little while to understand, but this is the truth. The real killer is Matt! That scumbag of a man! I'll never forgive him. He's trying to escape his guilt again, just like last time! Last time? So, Miss Andrews stabbed the victim, Juan Carita, in the chest with the knife. However, she didn't do it with murder in mind. She did it with the intent of framing Matt on guard for the murder. And this This is her crime. What? How is this possible? I mean, wasn't Miss Andrews supposed to be the real murderer? Mr. Ripe, please get over your shock and commence the cross-examination. My crime. Man, I don't know what to make of this anymore. I really don't know. Seriously, I don't. Oh. A to go forwards, B to go backwards. I just realized that. I don't want to concede, but if this testimony... I don't want to concede, but this testimony, it rings of the truth. I'm sorry, Phoenix. No, please, don't apologize to me. We were both taken by surprise. Still, I'm sorry. You're sorry? Why are you sorry? Bit of an inconvenience. Wrong. Well, it's time for old strategy again. It's time to press everything. Well, you can tell from the state the room was in that there must have been a fight. Are you telling the truth when you say that you did not know he was dead? He had a scarf tied around his neck. But that scarf is a part of the Jama Ninja's costume, so I didn't think anything about it was strange. His head was also tilted down a bit, so I couldn't see his face that well. That's why I thought I'd wake him up. I went to pour the juice. When I realized he was dead, that was when I formulated my plan. Once I made sure there was no one in the hallway. Oh. What is this plan you had? I knew right away the murderer was Matt. I knew because Juan, he was going to expose Matt's weak point to the world. So Matt did this to stop Juan and silence him for good. That's when I thought I should forge some evidence and pin this crime on Matt. So the forged pieces of evidence were the knife and the button. The first thing that came to mind was to plant the knife. That was so you could get the knife, correct? The knife Matt used at dinner had his fingerprints all over it. I thought if I used that, then the police would certainly turn their eyes towards him. Matt was napping with his costume on at the time. I slipped in, took the knife, and returned to the scene of the crime. So were you the one to stab the victim? So you were the one to stab the victim with that knife. It gives me goosebumps to think about it now. What a horrible thing I did. But at the time, I couldn't control my own body. It moved on its own. Then when I stabbed Juan's dead body, I suddenly realized something. If I use the button somehow, I can make Matt look even more suspect. So you thought to rip one of the buttons off and then plant it in Mr. Unguard's Akama. Yes, that's what I had planned to do. But things never go that smoothly, do they? Just when I finished and returned to Matt's room. An inconvenience? There was a woman with a camera at the ready, loitering in the hallway. I'm willing to bet my spikes it was Lada. There was also a woman with a ray gun at the ready, pacing back and forth. That's Miss Aldbag for you. I'd already been come into a big scoop for a certain weekly tabloid once, so I couldn't very well go out looking like myself and get caught again. And that's why. You were the one who prepared that costume, weren't you? Yes, I took it from Global Studios. I also put it into Juan's guitar case the day before the awards ceremony. You did this in preparation for the press conference, correct? Yes, Juan wanted to wear that costume and hold a press conference in it. He was going to disclose Matt's big secret there. And what is this secret? That I don't know. Anyway, I thought if I were to leave Juan's room in the Nickel Samurai costume, then people would think that Matt was the real murderer. I was very careful not to leave any fingerprints when I opened the guitar case. I absolutely did not want anyone to know about the costume. I think we've heard enough. So, after that, you went back to Mr. On Guard's room and planted the button? In the Matsukama? Yes. After that, I folded up the costume I was wearing and put it into a bag. Then I snuck it out of the hotel and got rid of it. My word! What does all this mean? Mr. Edgeworth, is it? The real criminal is Matt on guard. Yesterday, that woman prosecutor sat me down for a talk. Francisca, huh? She said that I should, under no circumstances, confess to what I have done. That if I just kept quiet, then Matt would be found guilty for sure. I had no choice but to believe in her words. What this witness has done is clearly unlawful. However, as long as her testimony stands, we can be certain she is not the real killer. Oh, wait, Your Honor. The defense still... Right. It's pointless. At this point in time, it is not possible to indict Miss Andrews on anything. Yes, exactly. Yes, exactly. There isn't a single piece of evidence that points to her as the murderer. The cross-examination of this witness is over, and so is today's trial. You couldn't establish that the witness was the culprit. Please let it go, Mr. Wright. But... Mr. Edgeworth, please place Miss Andrews under arrest for further questioning. Understood, Your Honor. The prosecution will arrange for her detention immediately. Oh, God. Not like this. Not like this. Come on. That is all. Court is adjourned for today. Wait, Wait! The... Today's trial. It's over. And I didn't win an acquittal. Witness. Would you mind if I asked you something? Edgeworth? What is it? Before you leave court today, I wondered if I might look at one thing. The card in your hand. It's had my interest for quite some time now. What exactly is it? Oh, this? Mr. Wright also asked about this. Although I didn't remember at the time you asked me about it. Mr. Wright? I remember just now. I found this in the room on that day. The... room? That day? Yes. I found this car when I discovered Juan's body. It was lying there right next to him. You found that card next to the victim's body? I suppose I must have unconsciously slipped it into my pocket. But it's not as if this card has any relevance to Juan's murder, right? Yeah, I guess not. But it's still a strange card if you ask me. Okay, at this point now I remember. But as far as a clue to this case, I don't see why. Hold it. Witness! The card! Give it to me! Hurry! Edgeworth? Do you have any idea what you have stupidly yet inadvertently done? I can't believe you hid this from me all this time! I didn't mean to. What is this all about? I've never seen Edgeworth so emotional before. That card. What in the world is it? And what does it mean? Oh god. Oh my god. What the hell is going on here? 5:24 p.m. Renko offices. Mystic Fire! Mystic Fire! There, Pearls. I can't take it anymore. Well, look, it'll be alright. Everything may still work out. Uh-huh. The condition was that we had to get a not guilty verdict. And so far, the kidnapper has kept his word and hasn't hurt Maya. And he won't because Mr. On Guard hasn't been given a guilty sentence yet. Cheer up. We don't have time to stand around crying. We have to get going. You're right. Mystic Maya's in much more pain than I am. Yes, that's right. So, hey, you guys! Oh, glad I caught you, pal. Excuse me. Mr. Scruffy Detective. Oh boy, looks like Detective Gumshoe has been dubbed Mr. Scruffy Detective in Pearl's book now. It's just plain old Mr. Dick Gumshoe now, and I came to talk to you, pal. But we're kind of busy right now. Plain old Mr. Dick Gumshoe? So, what are you going to do from now on? What do you mean, pal? Well, you've been fired, right? So, do you have a new job lined up yet? Oh, that! What am I supposed to do now, pal? I don't have anything coming in at all until my next payday. What are you talking about? You don't have another payday. I guess that means I'm just gonna have to work here at your place, pal. Say what? Hold on, let me try again. Say what? You'll be searching for things that will prove Mr. On Guard's innocence all day, right? Well, yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna help you, pal. I've got lots of experience in investigating and watching over people's places. And I'm great at making really simple meals, pal. I'll take care of it all. Come on, Mr. Nick. Let's let Mr. Scruffy Detective take care of things. Okay, by the way, what's your best dish? Instant noodles, pal. Instant noodles. Why am I surrounded by people who only eat cheap, unhealthy foods? Uh, 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 I, uh, I, oh god. Oh god. I think. Oh god, he got me. He got me! That was the first time I'd ever seen Mr. Edgeworth act like that. Never thought he'd say something like, he didn't care if Miss Andrews killed herself. He said that? That's horrible. But because of him doing that, we got the truth finally. The truth? Miss Andrews' last testimony. I wonder if that was the truth. I'll give you that there was nothing strange in her testimony itself. But I still think there's something fundamentally wrong with the whole thing. You mean about that thing, pal? Why would she want to... No, I mean, almost need to frame Mr. Ungard. I couldn't figure that out from anything she said all day. Then you're saying that testimony was a lie? Not a lie per se, it just feels like there's more here than meets the eye. Or that's what Mr. Edgeworth would like, or that's what Edgeworth would like us to believe. That's such a dirty trick! Even that woman prosecutor was better than that! Franziska von Karma. Speaking of Miss von Karma, do you have any more information on her condition? Wasn't she shot this morning? Miss von Karma was shot today on the way to the trial by a pistol, pal. But she's gonna be fine, right? I mean, Edgeworth said she was in stable condition, but... Well, she was shot in the shoulder, so she's okay and still hanging in there. They should be done taking the bullet out, so she's probably resting at the hospital. Which one? What? Are you gonna visit her, pal? No. Well, I was kind of thinking about it. Hey, you've actually got a heart, don't you? She looked like she was being tortured to death not being able to go to the trial today. So maybe it'd be good for her if you went and let her whip you for a bit, pal. Let's go let her whip us, Mr. Nick. Oh my god. Now I'm definitely not going. Let's see. The name of the hospital. Oh yeah, the Hottie Clinic. Oh boy. That name sends a chill down my spine. Well, I guess it can't hurt to stop by and say hi. Well, Gumshoe, if you're gonna work here, then be my guest. Let's go everywhere. Zavizi Tozoruma. From what the guards told me, it sounds like along with Mr. Ungard, Miss Andrews is also being detained here. Then we should talk with them since we're here. Yeah, but both of them are still in questioning. And we don't have time to waste. Yeah, visiting hours are almost over. Wow, everybody looks really busy with something or another. They're probably strengthening the evidence for tomorrow's trial. Hey, hurry up with that, will ya? Pass that victims list around. You gotta be kidding, there's over 100 people in here! Mr. Nick? Is Mr. Ungard really that big and bad of a criminal? Actually, Pearls, never mind. It sounds like they're working on a different case. Oh, damn. Alright, off to the hotel lobby. Alright now, Mr. Nick. Let's go look for clues. We have to, for Mr. Maya's sake. You shall not pass! I'm sorry, I had to say it like that. I had to. Miss Soldbag. Don't devalue my name and turn it into it. Oh, wait, hold on. Fly, you fools. I'm sorry. Don't devalue my name and turn it into a gasp, you spiky-headed pettifogger!
Because of you, I've been made to look like a bad guy again. Although I did get a piece of gum from Edgy Boy just as he promised. But what I really wasn't much more. What is sorry, what all for me is all your fault. You awakened the wild beast inside this all back. And Miss Oldback, she I mean, she talked a bit slower that time, but oh jeez, oh god, oh no. Keep your hands off me! Oh wait, she's alive, okay. This helmet is airtight, nowhere gets in, or nowhere gets out!
Then why do you keep putting it on?
Don't you think you can get me to move with silly questions? You're going to have to defeat me if you want to get by!
I'm not hearing this.
Huh? You're a million light years too early to be asking me questions, whippersnapper.
Looks like the only way I'm gonna get any investigating done is to first do something about this kooky alien. Today's trial.
Ha! You're a million light. Oh god.
Could you please take a look at this?
Huh, sorry, Sonny, I can't see it very well through this helmet.
Oh, looks like the only way I'm gonna get any investigating done.
I see that look in your eyes. You stop thinking I'm an alien from outer space this instant.
Yeah, I don't really know. You know what? I don't think we have time for this at the moment. Let's go to the Hottie Clinic. Reception. Never thought I'd ever come back to this place.
Yes. Are you here to visit a patient?
Hi. Wait a second. You're...
Yes. I'm Director Hottie.
Why are you still here?
Yes, what is it? Can I help you? You can tell me. Yes.
Director Hottie. Edgeworth.
Yes, I'm Director Hottie. Oh, you're the man from this morning. Yes, what is it?
Director, Francisca. How is Francisca von Karma?
You don't need to worry. Yes, she's in good hands. Because you see, first I'm personally taking good care of her. Yes. Yes, and that thing, that surgery. It went well.
Yeah, my gratitude. It looks like Edgeworth doesn't know about this director and his secret.
She looks so beautiful. Absolutely terrified. Yes. But I understand, yes, her opponent was a gun after all, haha. And when I stuck up on a real superlative, she would scream really loud and yes.
I see.
But she's really cute too. When I do that, she whipped me with her whip, Why did I cry like a baby? Yes, but I think I get used to it.
Oh my god, what a masochist. Oh god, Addie's dead. Go back to your room.
You're so mean. So mean. I'm Frisky Friska. Well, let's get to Okay, yes, it's time for my IV drops. Yes.
And what are those tulips doing in your hands, Mr. Phoenix, right?
I knew I shouldn't have come here.
I was shot in front of the courthouse in my right shoulder. But it's no big deal. This sort of thing happens all the time. I even had full intentions of running the trial this morning. But that would have been too much for you. There's no need to act tough in front of us, you know. Regardless, I was dragged here by that man over there. He was so unyielding, one has to wonder if he was simply interested in stealing my case. It was the only logical course of action given the bullet was still lodged in your shoulder. But by taking over the case, I found myself having to clean up after you and that irresponsible deal you made. I think I know what deal he's referring to. Zadiru. Miss Von Karma, you made a deal with Miss Andrews yesterday, didn't you? I don't know what you mean. In order to make sure you got your guilty verdict on Mr. Ungard, you told Miss Andrews to not testify in court today. I don't know what you're talking about. Do you have proof that I made such a deal?
You're denying it?
It looks like you were lucky, Mr. Phoenix, right? If I had been in court today, this trial would already be over. All while hiding Miss Andrews' own crime? That isn't my problem. Whether she had tampered with the evidence or not, I have only one objective: to find Ungard guilty of murder. The end justifies the means, Mr. Phoenix, right? The end justifies the means. Miss Von Karma, Adrian Andrews believed you when you said, if you don't tell the truth of what really happened, then Ungard will be found guilty. And what does that have to do with me?
Because of that, she's now in danger of being found guilty herself. All because she believed in your words until the very end.
That still has nothing to do with me. She's just a weak person, that's all.
Well, you had to know she was. Ow!
I think visiting hours here are about over. So, if you'll excuse me. What's wrong? Why did she suddenly cut you off? Probably because she thinks I had the advantage in that argument. Edgeworth. What happened today at the trial, Edgeworth? That was not like you at all. I mean, I know you knew about Miss Andrews' condition. You could have made her testify as many times as you wanted, but to go that far... but she wouldn't testify about that until I said something. Listen, Wright, the courtroom is a garden of judgment. I am putting myself on the line when I stand in there. And that's why I made the witness do the same. It's only natural. By the way, Edgeworth, you were really angry in court today. That's rare for you.
Witness! That card! Give it to me! Hurry! Do you have any idea what you have stupidly and inadvertently done? This! I can't believe you hid this from me all this time!
That card. What in the world is it? You mean this? Listen, Wright. This is top secret information. You absolutely cannot leak this. A special investigations team has existed for a number of years, but few know of it. I understand. Their task is to find the owner of this card. A man called Shelly the Killer. And just as his name states, he is a killer, an assassin. The best at that.
An assassin?
Picture card was placed next to the victim at the time of the murder. Miss Andrews was carrying it. So who is this Shelly the Killer? The Killer is the name of a long-standing line of assassins. Long-standing? The name first appeared about 100 years ago, I hear. Shelly is the professional name of the third heir to the killer name. The killer name. So, because his professional name is Shelly, he leaves cards with a shell on him? He has a habit of making sure to leave a card by the body of his victims. Why would he do something like that? We think it is a part of his duty to his clients. His duty? If he leaves a card, then his clients can be assured it was he who killed the victim. It also serves as insurance against any charges being pushed onto his clients. I see. The killer values the trust between his clients and himself above all else. It seems that this is one honorable assassin with a moral conscience. I guess that even honorable assassins can exist. So, you think this assassin... You think he's the one who did the killing in this case? It would appear that way. The discovery of the card basically confirms it, wouldn't you agree? Shelly, the killer, huh? That situation. I noticed something at the trial today. You were behaving in a very strange manner. Something the matter? I guess I should just tell him. Maya, she's been kidnapped. Kidnapped? What does the kidnapper want? An acquittal. I see. I had no idea. I will prepare a rescue team as soon as possible and resolve this by tomorrow. Really? Did you hear that, Mr. Nick? Mr. Edgeworth is gonna... Stop trying to console me, Edgeworth. I don't need your pity. Mr. Nick? There's no way you can find her. We don't even have a single lead to go on. There's only one way to save her. I have to get an acquittal somehow. It's the only way. Right. Listen. You need to know something. Juan Carrito was killed by Shelly the killer. And the client who ordered the job is Matt on guard. Your own client. Uh, uh, what the fuck? I don't fucking, what the fuck? 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 What the actual fuck? Stupid fuck. Please stop. I can't listen to you. I can't believe that. I see. Well, if you want to continue your investigation, you will need this. What is it? The hotel right now is restricted to police personnel only, as we are looking for any clues that might lead us to Shelly the killer. But if you take this with you to the hotel, I'm sure they will let you enter. In any case, I must attend to the preparations for Maya's rescue team. We'll meet again, if anything should happen. Now, if you'll excuse me. Mr. Nick? Do you think Mr. On Guard hired an assassin? No way! I mean, he doesn't have a psych lock. Yeah, I guess not. Maya, please. All I ask is you make it home, safe and sound. Are we playing as Maya again? I guess even kidnappers can be a little clumsy. Clumsy enough to drop a card like this for me. And even though he said he was an assassin, I bet he's just making that up. Like how Nick does with everything in court. Anyway, let's try out the card trick with this card I just found. Sounds like I got the door open. Okay, time to go take a look around. There's all sorts of things piled up here, but it's too dark to see. I know we examined this yesterday, but no, whatever. What's this? Feels like there are a lot of glass bottles here. And these, they feel like barrels. I'll pass. Too bad I'm really hungry and not really thirsty. I've unlocked the door with this card. I should probably go and take a look around. Alright, alright, okay, here we go. Let's go to question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark. What's the date? The hell? What is this place? Hey, a bear. Got a feeling I'm not in the hotel anymore. Are those videos over there? Well, I'll worry about that later. For now, I should be looking for clues. That way, I can show them to Sis and maybe get out of here. First off, what's the spare? That's weird. What's a figurine doing on a sofa in a place like this? I think it's a bear. Aw, how cute! But it's got a lot of cuts and slits on it. I wonder if it's some kind of puzzle or something. There's a framed picture sitting on this coffee table. It's a picture of a woman. She's kind of pretty. Hey, looks like something's written here. Let's see. I think it says, with love, Celeste. Celeste Mountain. I bet this could be a clue. It's so dark in here that I can barely see, but these kind of feel like videotapes. All of them. Just what kind of room is this? Oh, hey, it's a computer. I've never really used one before. I have no idea where the power switch on this thing is. Ah, drat. There goes my plan to use this somehow to get out of here. What is this thing? An antenna, I guess? And this is a VCR? There's sure a lot of electronic gadgets here. But what is an antenna doing here? Wow, I've never seen a TV this big before. Now, where's the power button? Oh. Ah, phooey. It's busted. I would so die a happy samurai fan. If I ever got to see the Nickel Samurai on a TV like this. Ah! I can't believe I just made a joke about dying! All things considered. Oh, come on, Maya. Oh, Maya, we all love you. Locked. Of course. And it doesn't look like I can use the car to open this door. There's a little hole at the bottom of the door. If only I was a little skinnier, then maybe I'd be able to crawl through here. Oh, this simply will not do. Oh god. I cannot have you wandering around at will. I'm scared. Ah! What? It seems that your Mr. Right is truly concerned about you. He is? For now, I would suggest you remain cooperative. If you cannot, there are ways in which I can help you. Ways? You mean dead men tell no tales is how the saying goes, correct? Oh, don't tell me what you're about to do. Dead? I'm almost certain I told you on our first meeting. I am an assassin. No way. You're lying. I mean, an assassin? People are not always who they appear to be. Wait. Ah! I don't know what to feel anymore. Mr. Nick? Huh? Oh yes, Pearls? Got caught up in my thoughts about my situation. Mr. Edgeworth has left, you know? Oh, I guess for now I have no choice but to believe in Mr. On Guard. But I think I should listen to his story one more time. Alright, let's get going too. Okay! Hey, Gumshoe? Detention center? Oh, Jesus. I just can't believe Maya. I'm sorry, but visiting hours are over for today. Oh. I have too many questions I need to ask. I'm sorry, but I'm Phoenix Wright, a lawyer for one of the... You're Mr. Wright, you say? Oh, yeah, there's a message here for you. A message? It's from Matt on Guard. Here you are. What did he write? Is it something really important? I don't know. Well, let's see what it has to say. To Mr. Lawyer Dude. To Mr. Lawyer Dude. To Mr. Lawyer Dude, I've got something really important to tell you. Why do I feel uneasy all of a sudden? Oh, Mr. Wright. So actually, I have a favor to ask of you. I have this cat named Shu. Shu? Shu? I didn't put out a lot of food when I left the house, so he's probably pretty hungry. You think you could drop by my house and feed shit for me, dude? My house is just a little ways down from the hotel, alright? This is terrible. Let's hurry! We have to feed his cat! I'm sure poor Shu's stomach is growling by now. Yeah, I guess. Please feed my cat, Shu. My house is just a little ways down from the hotel. The client's request is a request. Yes, I should go check up on his cat. Alright, let's go! That living room. On Guard Mansion, living room. Sure is dark. I'll go turn on a light. Ah! Wow. So this is what a star's house looks like. Must be nice to be rich. Come on, Mr. Nick. Let's find Shu the kitty cat. Shu! Meow. So I guess this is Shu. Ah, what a lovely cat. Hello, Shu. Cat seems to like pearls. Pardon me. Pardon. Ah, God! Ah, God! May I help you with something, Mr. Oh, we're lawyers. Actually, I'm Mr. On Guard's lawyer. The Masters. The Masters. Then you must be Mr. Right. Yes. It's a pleasure to meet your wonderful self. I am the family butler, John Doe. Are you serious? Are you fucking serious? John Doe? Come on. Come on. Oh, well, nice to meet you. Meow. You must know all sorts of things about Mr. Ungar, right? Honestly, sir, I don't believe my master is capable of such a foul deed as murder. And, anything else? No, not especially. It is not appropriate for a lowly servant to speak of the master or his affairs. How typically butler-like, as it were. Mr. Doe, how long have you served at this residence? Well, sir, I would have to say maybe about 1 year. And, anything else? No, not especially. It is not appropriate for a lowly servant to speak of himself and his affairs. You know, I would have thought that Mr. Engard the kind to have a maid over a butler. Yeah, for some reason I think that too. Sure. Well, that's a very cute cat you got there. It is my duty to take care of him. The master rather fancies shoe. And, anything else? No, not especially. It is not appropriate for a lowly servant to speak of the family cat. Well, then, I guess I don't need this piece of scrap paper anymore. Well, I'm afraid I must take my leave of you now. Oh, we should probably get going ourselves. Ah, so young, and yet so already so accomplished. A master of law! But there's also a lot to be proud of in being a butler, in charge of the house and all. Thank you for the compliment, sir. People are not always who they appear to be. Now if you'll excuse me. Well... I guess it wouldn't hurt to examine everything. It's a very comfortable and spacious lounge set. I wonder if famous stars drop by and sit around and have a good time. Well, in any case, I don't really belong here, do I? What is with me and feeling inferior today? Huh? Oh, there's a giant cooking hearth there. Here. That's actually a fireplace. How are they different, Mr. Nick? You know, I've never actually seen a hearth before, come to think of it. You should come and visit you should come and visit Fay Manor then. I'll show you one when you do. Are we back to the whole step-ladder thing? Oh, a giant bicycle is flying through the air! That bicycle, Pearls, is one where you don't have to pedal and it moves on its own. No, really? Wow! But sorry to disappoint you, it can't fly. Oh, that's too bad. Unless E.T. was with you. There's another door over there. You shouldn't go wandering off over there, Mr. Nick. Well, yes, Pearls. Now I know how Maya feels when I tell her to stop playing around. Alright. There are masks here! Yeah, the one in the middle is the Steel Samurai. The ones next to that are the Pink Princess and the Evil Magistrate. They fought many battles against the backdrop of New Old Tokyo. Wow, you really know a lot about the Steel Samurai, Mr. Nick. I don't know whether to laugh or cry that I know more about that show than a kid. I, um... yeah, I don't know either. There's a small door at the bottom of this bigger door, Mr. Nick. I bet it's for Mr. Enguarde's cat to use. Oh, you mean Shu? The door. It's locked tight. Well, I guess that's to keep nosy people like me from entering it. But wait. I think we could have Pearl crawl through it. Well, I think. But first... maybe if I show her this letter I got from Edgeworth. Miss Oldbag, if you would look at...
What? You want me to look at this worthless piece of... Edgy poo.
Is that her perfume? Pheromone d'amour? I smell... I hope I said that right.
Let's see here. Would you please allow this unsophisticated young person to conduct his investigation? Yours truly, Miles Edgeworth.
Yours truly?
Huh, that man's as good as flattery. That man's good at flattery. Fine, but only because Edgy said so, you understand?
Alrighty.
I just thought of something I have to do. Remember, no messing around. You do anything bad and I won't let you off the hook.
Well, it looks like she has strong feelings for Mr. Edgeworth. Well, that may be, but you know nothing's gonna come of it. That's so mean, Mr. Nick! Feelings are meant to be told and shared!
How?
Every time we talk about love, I always end up with a handprint on my face somehow. Oh my god. So anyway, let's continue our investigation.
Okay.
And there she goes with the ray gun again.
Ah, what? What now? One little thing before I forget. You can't go into Enguarde's room today.
Why?
The police's main investigation team is going to be in there all day, you hear?
I wonder if they're the team in charge of investigating the killer.
So don't go in there. Set one foot in there and you'll face the wrath of Wendy Oldbag.
March 2-2. Looks like we're the only ones here. And yet, the hotel seems so busy somehow. Probably because the police team is scouring for clues about the killer. Why is all the food still here, though? Didn't this case start on, like, March 19th or something? Or March 20th? Well, not gonna fret.
Hey, City Boy.
Oh, Lada, you're still here.
Wrecking course. An investigative photographer eats or starves on her ability to snap up the scoop, yeah? And this hotel just has that aura of mystery. You know, like something's always about to happen.
But, do you have a camera?
Real given. A photographer's gotta have cameras out of the ear like corn to be a real pro, you know? So I'm hanging around here. Speaking of cameras and feeding the mouth, you have mine, you bread thief? Why can't you drop that thief thing already?
I think we have it. Would you please take a look at this? Nope, sorry, no can do. Only thing I want to see is steaming hand towel. What? Steaming hand towel? Need one for my eyes. Today just ain't a good day for my eyes to be looking at stuff. How convenient. Maybe I'll have to use that one next time you show me something. Well, I'd say... I think that'll be it for today. Now, who we're gonna raid? Mm, mm. Mhm, 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 mhm. Still thinking. Alright, I know. I know now who we will raid. Well, we are going to raid. Uh, we are going to raid Strubly. He is currently streaming. Oh, hold on, I gotta refresh this. He is. Hmm, hmm. He is currently streaming Murdered, sole suspect at the moment. Hmm. Let's not. Let's raid Kaylee. Currently playing Persona 5 Royal. She's at that one part of the game. It looks like. That is it this time around. I would say. Yeah. I'll be back with this game tomorrow. And on Tuesday, I will be here with Stanley Parable. So, yep. Say we are done. So, thanks for hanging out. And a big cheers to you for watching. Well, good night. There'll be more countless nights. Ooh, what a thunk. Anyways.
Mwah.